Hey, this is Nick, and I'm the creator behind the Snowcat projects that have been released in the past. And currently up for sale is the current machine, which is, I've been told, the late 40s, early 50s of the previous 2 centuries. So basically, you're talking about 1940s, early 1950s. This is a Frandee SnoShu, and co-creator of mine, so to speak, Bill Guthrie, the gentleman who started this restoration, he called it the serial number one. I'm not sure what the whole story behind it. For those who are interested, they could research and ask me a little more about it. But this is one of the few machines that were built back in the days by gentlemen, France and Divine. Those are the two last names of engineers from University of Agriculture from Salt Lake City, Utah. They were co-creators of the Frandee machines, and they were model A, B, C, D, and E as far as I'm aware of information. So this is the one that I've had the pleasure and opportunity to restore. My past is this is one of the few machines that I have done. In the past, I have restored a few thiokol machines and some more of a smaller ATVs, and this is something of passion for me and something that I've been creating in the past. And I love doing it. And my goal is to find a good home for my project, so to speak, or for this machine that I believe that I've put enough labor of love and updated the machine enough where this machine will see another 30, maybe even 50 years of its life, obviously depending on how well it will be taken care of and maintained by the new owner. So basically, we're looking for a new home for this machine right now. And I'll take over the camera and go through step by step on what I can on this machine. So once again, what we're looking at is late 40s, early 50s Frandee SnoShu. This specific unit has utilized a late 1920s Ford Model T cowl. So that's original Ford Model T parts. And then I tried to keep machine as original looking as possible without changing much of its original looks per se. So for example, like the lights, they're classic looking stuff, and tracks were built completely, so they're brand new tracks. They were built to factory spec, and those are actually, yes, they're wooden tracks. The radiator has been replaced versus the factory one, and with electrical fan, the thermostat control, new carburetor. It's a single barrel carburetor, a deep cycle AGM Duracell battery. Machine runs well without any issues. I've personally taken it out for just over 60 hours of operations, a few multiple trips. So new ignition components, more or less. All hoses were updated as well. Fuel pump is new. Most of the sensors were replaced. Goal of the, restoration was to keep machine as original as possible as far as how I got it in which condition. So no parts were replaced that did not need to be replaced. Kind of on the concept of don't fix if it ain't broken. It is a 6-cylinder Ford Inline 6 with a 59T 3-speed with a granny low forward speed, and it's a divorce transfer case 50-50 split to a 4-wheel drive system basically. It uses drum brakes on the front and rear axle, side to sides for steering. All brake components were replaced as far as brake pads and all the springs and such, and then all the, I think they're called drums, were turned to make sure that all those components are obviously updated and done. On lighting, I've installed most of the lights, or if not all, are all LED, so you will see marker lights on top. There are track lights on the bottom. Those are LED as well. Those who are in jeeping community will probably know them as rock lights. So they give you a nice lighting accent. That's a custom built ladder. Skid proof, slick proof, or whatever you want to call it. So you have grip as you're coming up. That ladder will support, you know, I guess obviously quite a bit of weight, and the rack itself with a stretched steel on top. 2 fuel cans in the back, military style. It's all glass, so there's no plastic glass, it's all glass. I did not change any of the components on the cab itself. Like I said, my goal was to keep it all original. Did some trim work. I have a water jet machine, so I can cut out nice trim parts, locks, laser engraved Frandee SnoShu, and windows. I'm not sure what else to go over. On the tracks we got this is hickory hardwood, so give you an idea. And ignore the rusty stuff. That's just a regular thing for snowcat tracks. Steel. You might notice sagging on a track. That's the reason, because right now machine is in storage mode, so to speak. So in order to keep tracks from stressing more than they have to on the belting, and just, you know, overworking the tire pressure and the wheel hubs assembly, the bearings and such. In this condition or in this tension of the track, machine will move. Obviously, you can load it, unload it, and move about. But to use it in the actual snow, you do have to put tension onto the tracks, which is done here from the rear. And there are components here, and there are components over here that will help you do that. Fuel tank, it's roughly about 20 gallons. It does last quite a bit. It does have a tow hitch. I think it'll support towing 4,000 to 5,000 pounds if need be, more or less. That should not be a problem. Rear backup light, not very authentic possibly, but you know, obviously can be updated to anything that you choose. And if that's a deal breaker for anybody who wants to purchase this machine, I could definitely update it to something more right, or so to speak. So interior, right, I think we're done for the exterior. And just FYI, no expense spared. I mean, like these headlights, I believe they were roughly $150 to $200. So this is not just a cheap China knockoff looking headlight. I mean, these are quality parts here. Interior, I had an opportunity basically to choose my own design. I tried to go for the show look, if that makes sense. So it utilized a lot of wood and some of this kind of style upholstery. Again, water jet cut parts, trims to make it all look like, you know, it's supposed to be, so to speak. Machine is well insulated. It utilizes inch to about 1.5 inch insulation foam with 1/2 inch padding. So this is a soft pad, as you see right here. So it's very good on sound deadening, and oh yeah, and it does have sound deadening on the inside layer as well. So machine is very quiet inside, as the engine is in the front, so you don't really get a whole lot of engine noise. The front bench is, I was told that it's very similar to Hong Kong ferry style. So if you were to go forward, you can go that way. If you go reverse, that way, on a ferry at least. In our case, the concept here was that if you want to sit 6 people comfortably drinking tea or just enjoying the warm cab while it's storming outside, or you know, you're outdoors doing whatever, you can comfortably sit facing each other, and possibility having a table there and, you know, I don't know, playing a card game or whatever, right? But in any case, going back to the side benches, which will comfortably sit 2 on each side, or probably even 3 if it was so they go up like this. Obviously it's on a chain link, or if you disconnect, they will completely drop down to the floor, flat down pretty much. Flooring is all one-piece cocoa mat. So as I'll walk back here. It is diamond plated flooring here. The wood that's utilized is maple, walnut, going for the front end section. Hopefully on the video it's not too dark. But this is all one single piece of slab of walnut board that I've acquired that was utilized to make the 3 pieces of the dashboard. So it does have a functional heater on the bottom, which runs 2 defrost units. If you shut the vents down there, it'll basically force the air up into the vents. That's your choke, and that's a heater control. Dash control here in the front, laser water jet cut, laser engraved for all your lighting and all the decals. Now I know the camera picks up some of the funky looking marks maybe on the aluminum, but it's just a matter of wiping it down a little bit. So, hand controls for steering, and it is a clutch, gas, and a 4-speed with the reverse. This is your fuse, custom panel, 27 circuits, custom engraved. So every detail had pretty much a custom touch to it, whatnot. So you have your windshield wiper control here for the windshield wiper motor. And being a woodworker as well on the custom projects, so you have a custom engraved and grain cutting board, which utilizes actually all the wood that was used in the making of this specific cat, which is included in the sale obviously as well. So this is just something to make it a little more unique. At this point, in my opinion, this project is done and well worth the asking price. Over 500 man hours were put into this machine, so I believe that asking price is more than fair, but I am willing to offers, as I do have a couple other machines already lined up for restoration. So I am interested as a seller, so as long as it's a reasonable offer, I'm willing to consider and take it. So let's start the engine here that running. So we have once again, we have a Frandee SnoShu machine. And you're welcome to check out my YouTube profile, BudNixon, B-U-D, like Bud, the Budweiser, and Nixon, like the former President Nixon, N-I-X-O-N. So BudNixon, I do have, I believe it's about 12 episodes online on the restoration of the machine, as I post for my viewers on the channel. And if you research BudNixon Snowcat adventures or similar on YouTube, you will see my other projects there as well. So hopefully everybody sees what this is all about, and there's that unique, one-of-a-kind buyer who would want to own this unique, one-of-a-kind machine. Thanks for your attention.